This is the microwave engineering RAC 601 sessional. Today's topic is sessional paper discussion. This is the paper. This is the paper. Now you are most of those who have given the exam that time, they must face these questions. See, question is section A, section B, section C. Section A, where there is a 4 question is there, you need to attempt it, all of them. Each of consist of 2 marks. Then section B, 4 marks, and section C, this one. Most of the student does not attempt the third B questions, and few of one of them I have just asked all the faculty, just Shilpi ma'am, Prasanna sir, and Sarabjit ma'am. Only 1 or 2 students have attended these questions. Those who have attended, they did the mistakes. I will tell you where there is a mistakes and how can you rectify it. Let's start. Moving to the questions. Now see what is the first question. 1B, 1A. What is the physical meaning of N and M in circular waveguide, that is TM&M? Also define wave number. Most of students, when just seeing these questions, interpreted it is the rectangular waveguide. So you write the N and M in terms of the rectangular waveguide. But here questions clearly mention about the circular waveguide. So how can you did a mistake? Let's see what will be the correct answers. In a circular waveguide, if you represent like TE&M, N refers to the number of circumferential variations. Always write in the first C, if the mention is circular waveguide, so that time you must concern about the N N refers to the number of circumferential variations. Complete 2 pi. M is referred to the number of radial variations. But in a rectangular waveguide, N refer to the half sinusoidal wave in x direction. N refer to the y, half sinusoidal in y directions. But here N refers to the number of circumferential variations. M refers to the number of radial variation. First subscript N represent the number of full cycle of field variation in 1 revolutions through these portions, through 2 pi radians of phi. So always write when N is there, N is a circumferential variation only, M is referred to the radial variation. Always write like this. The modes are designated by TEMN and TMNMN, where M indicates number of half sinusoidal waves. This is a rectangular waveguide. Clearly I am just posting these two so that you can clearly find out what is the difference between the TEMN representation of the rectangular waveguide as well as circular waveguide. So this is the portion sinusoidal cycle of. Here M and N are the put as a suffix to T to indicate the order of the modes in broader and narrower dimension. Broader in x direction or narrower in y direction. M represents the number of half wave variation of the electric field or magnetic field across the wider dimension A of the waveguide, and that is the x direction. Most of the students write this in the answer of 1A. But what would be the correct answer? Answer just in the previous slide. N represent the number of half wave variation of the electric field or magnetic field in case of TM across the narrower dimension B of the waveguide in y direction. That is the clearly you see in both the slides the mention about the circular waveguide as well as the rectangular waveguide. So clearly you can see the difference. So don't be confused and don't be write the wrong answers in university exam as well as the upcoming sessional exam. The other portion is define also the wave number. Always write the wave number that represent, sometimes represent beta, somewhere is represented k, small k. The quantity beta is a measure of the phase shift Measure the phase shift per unit length in radian per meter. It is measured in the radian per meter. It is also called the phase constant or wave number. It will also used in one of the questions. Beta, phase shift per unit length. Simply you need to remember phase shift per unit length is known as beta. 2 pi upon lambda. The unit of lambda is meter. 2 pi, that means complete revolution per circumference, that is the 2 pi radians. 2 pi, that 2 pi radians, radian per meter. The cutoff wave number of the mode is in which the mode propagation constant. This is the circular waveguide case. The portions here. So wave number, the first 1A questions is completed here. So you need to write the first slide portions, this one, only write the n and represent, and you need to write this portions. This is complete, gives the 2 marks. Okay. Now the 1B questions. What is the 1B question? 1B questions, what is dominant mode in waveguide? It is clearly mentioned what is dominant mode in waveguide. Does it depend on dimension of waveguide? Let's see what will the answer. Dominant mode, the mode with the lowest cutoff frequency or highest cutoff wavelength. The mode with the lowest cutoff frequency in a particular guide is called the dominant mode. The mode with the lowest cutoff frequency or highest cutoff wavelength is known as dominant mode. Dominant mode is TM11 in the dominant of the TM wave, but in general, in rectangular waveguide with A is greater than B, that time the dominant mode is TE10. The dominant mode in a rectangular guide with A greater than B is the TE10 mode. Each mode has a specific mode pattern, and additionally, just I write here degenerate mode. 2 or more modes having the have the same cutoff frequencies, they are said to be degenerate mode. Example is TE11 and TM11. Both are the degenerate modes. Both frequency is same. Fc is equal to c by 2 under root m by a whole square plus n by b whole square. This is the degenerate mode. Does it depend on the dimension? Another question is mentioned. Does it depend on dimension? Dominant mode has the lowest cutoff frequency, and cutoff frequency depend on the dimension. Fc is equal to c by 2 under root m by a whole square. A and b is the dimension. N by b ka whole square. That means it depend upon Fc depend upon A and B. Obvious dominant mode depend on this dimension also. The cutoff frequency of the dominant mode depend upon the dimension. Clearly mentioned that you need to write the cutoff frequency. The cutoff frequency of the dominant mode depend on A and B also. Now the question number 1C. Give the difference between isolator and circulator. Circulator and here is isolator. A circulator is a multi-port microwave junction in which multi-port, whereas the isolator is two-port. Isolator is two-port. Here the first difference, it is a multi-port microwave junction, that is a two-port only, in which power flow from one port to the next immediate port in one direction only. Here it is also similar. It also provide the ion isolator is a two-port non-reciprocal. This is also a non-reciprocal. Circulator is also a passive non-reciprocal. It is also a passive non-reciprocal. Because non-reciprocal means it provide from A to B but not provide from B to A. The power flow from A to B, but same time the power does not flow from B to A. An isolator is a two-port non-reciprocal network having very low attenuation in the forward direction and very high attenuation. In ideal is infinity in a backward direction. In a ideal, in a backward direction is a infinity attenuation. So in a broad sense you can say that the power flow from A to B. A is input side, B is output side, but does not power flow from B to A. Here you can see this is the figure, and you can also here A to B, 2 and 3 just terminated here, so this also become a, this also behaves like a 1 or 2, either 1 or 4 isolator, as you have seen in the microwave test bench in the college lab, where there is a, after the clustron power supply there is a isolator, but actually this is the circulator, because 3 port is there, 1 port is terminated, so it become a isolator. So in a 2 marks you can only write the 2 to 4. It a multi-port is a single port, 2 port. Here that's another thing is right in terms of the applications. Here the application is in between the generator and the load, the power flow without attenuations from the source and the load, but the waves reflected from the loads are severely attenuated. This avoids the source to be overloaded and eliminate frequency pooling due to changing loads. If power flow from clustron generators to the output side, if there is reflections coming from the output sides and come to the input side, if it's not attenuated properly, that it may damage the power supply. So it's provide the safety link. So in a broad sense you can write the difference between isolator and circulators like this. Then what is the last question of the first sections? Define S matrix, scattering matrix. S is scattering matrix, and also writes its property. Let's see what is S matrix. The scattering matrix is defined as the relationship between the forward and backward moving waves. I am just presenting these terms as a broad 7 marks questions. You can just find out the only abstract point to write in the 2 marks question. In 2 marks, you can write the first part. The scattering matrix is defined as the relationship between the forward and backward moving waves, generally presented in a normalized form. This is the multi-port junction where H by Z is 2 port. The representation is like this: B1, A1 is input, A is input, B is output. Let's see, it's represented like the B1 represented S11, A1 plus S12, A2, S13, A3. Here you can see S12. What is the meaning of S12? If S12, the here input is 2, output at port 1. S12 means power supplying at the 2 port, and you can just measure the reflection coefficient at port 1. Here S12, the number which is just immediate after the S, just immediate S, is indicate the output. Here output is 1, output at power 1. Here the input is 2, input at power port 2. Do not be confused. S12, that means the 1 is immediate to S, that means the power output at port 1. 2, that means the power input at port 2. Similarly, you can just put in this form and you can get current corresponding reflected wave. This is coming reflected wave, that means the output, scattering columns, and matrix and input. This is the input portions. A scattering matrix is represented like this, as one corresponding to this. You need not to write these terms in the 2 marks. Their question as what define S matrix. You can just define this and put like this. Simply just write this, or either you write this or move to the directly. What is the property? Most important is the property. S matrix is always a square matrix of order n cross n. Symmetric matrix, that means the S12 is equal to S21. S is unitary matrix, that means S and complex of the X is always equal to identity matrix, means unitary matrix. For this fourth and fifth are the important was used in the most of the passive devices. The sum of the products of each terms of any row or column, sum of the products of each term of any row or any column multiplied to the complex conjugate of the corresponding terms of the any other row or column is 0. Take any row or column, first to the row, then it multiply with the complex conjugate of the corresponding terms. If you take the first row, then first row this side, and this side the first row of the complex conjugate of the another matrix, multiply and add completely, is give the 0. We will see in the magic T questions. And fifth one is, if any one of the terminal or reference plane, say the kth part, are moves away from the junction by an electric distance, each of the coefficient involving k will be multiplied by the factor equal this. It also is the decaying factor, and you used to multiply with this. Mostly 1 to 4 is utilized in this term, and fifth is not utilized in here. Where there's a decaying factor is there, then you can use this. This is the complete of the section A, where discuss about the first part, the questions related to N and M of the circular waveguide. Second, go to the portions, what is the difference circulator and isolator. Third, property, and one of the questions related to dominant mode, and what is the dominant mode, that is dependent upon the dimensions. So let's move to the third 3 marks questions, section B. The first question is, a rectangular cavity resonator has dimension A is 7.5 centimeter, B 4.4 centimeter, D 16 centimeter. Calculate the resonant frequency of dominant mode, cutoff number and phase constant. Here see, cutoff number and phase constant. When a wave number, say that it is also known as a phase constant. In a exam, mostly the cutoff number or phase constant, but here mentioned is and, so only we need to find out the cutoff number only. Similarly, you must represent your answer. You must write your answer in this way. Given that A is this, convert in a meter. Always convert in a standard unit, that is the meter. B is 4 centimeter, 0.04 meter. D is 16 centimeter, 0.16 meter. We know that for A greater than B and D is also greater than B, in this scenario the dominant mode is TE101 mode. Only this is the 7 marks question of the previous year. Previous year AKTU has asked this question for 7 marks. Only this trick is there. Only this trick. If you know this trick, simply you can find out. And this time ISRO also asked these questions. They have made the 3-dimensional figure and tell me the what is the dominant mode propagate in this waveguide, in this rectangular cavity. The answer is TE101. And how can you identify? Simply there is a trick. Which one is the lowest? B is lowest among all, make it 0. T101. Here B is 0, that B is lowest, make it 0. That is M equal to 1, N equal to 0 and P equal to 1. This was also the question of assignment 1. Most of a student who have submitted assignment 1 in paper pen mode, I checked it and found that most of the students have got this P by D. They have just disappear about the P and D. They did not mention the m by a whole square plus n by b square plus p by d. They have only mentioned what m by a whole square plus n by b whole square, and p by d is disappeared there. So it reduced to rectangular waveguide. But question originally asked about the cavity. Here there is a no mention free space. To take it free space, because mr and epsilon r and mu r is not given there, so we just take a free space case, and we know that mu naught in epsilon naught equal to 1 by c square, 1 by c. Put there and just put these terms and solve it. You will get the FR is 2.208 gigahertz. Always write when you are able to solve the numericals. I wondered why most of the students are not able to solve this numericals, because they do not have any sufficient background for solving these questions. Second background means they have not read properly. They not have a just formula. Only you need to have put this term in a formula based. This is only the formula based questions. If you know, you will get the 7 marks easily. And when I will discuss the previous year question paper, first we will start 2018-19, then I will represent, then I will show how it is easy to solve the numericals. If you know the formulas or if you quickly put it, you will able to save your time also. If you, in comparison to this, if you write the answer of the subjective types, the any theoretical type questions, you take more times in comparison to solving the numericals. And numericals, if they properly correct, is give you a guarantee of full marks. But theory is properly correct, always there is a chance of 1 or 2 marks cut it down. So I always recommend you to solve numerical if numerical is there. Cutoff wave number, the formula is this. Simply put this and you will get, it is always in a radian per meter. Do not forget to write it. Write the unit, it is radian per meters. This is the questions asked in 2018-19. Now the question number 2b. What is the question 2b? Let's see. 2b question is, with the help of diagram, explain the working of magic T and also determine its S parameter. This is a question. They have asked about the working of magic T, also determine its S matrix. Let's see. This is the magic T. This is the magic bit. There the 4 port is there. It is the combination of E plenty and H plenty. In E plenty, we know that if the power is just applying at the port 3, it is equally divided into port 1 and port 2, but it is in opposite in phase. But if you apply the power at port 4, it is equally divided into port 1 and port 2 in a same phase. This is the only basic difference between E plenty and H plenty. Also, Prasanna sir have sent the 3 numerical, 3 lab experiment. Further 6, 7 and 8 experiment. You need to only just written down in your lab file, lab manual. It's only there. In there you will find the magic T. A magic T is a combination of E plen and H plen T. Magic T is the most commonly used form of the 4-port hybrid circuit, which is in general form in this. This is the portions. And the working characteristic is this: if 2 waves of equal magnitudes and the same phase are fed into the port 1 and 2, the output will be 0 at port 3, same phase. Here the same phase is mentioned. Then at port 3 it will be 0. Port 4 it combined, it additive at port 4. Port 3 is 0. Port 3 is provide the opposite phase. It's subtractive types, and if you subtract it, it will get the 0. But in HR, which is additive type, just add this. If you apply power at port 1 and port 2, it's complete. Simply add it here, subtract. Subtract is the same magnitude. This is provide the 0. If a wave is fed into port 4, the HR, it will be divided equally between the port 1 and port 2 of the collinear's arm and will not appear at port 3. Simply as I told you, the principle of H plenty. If you apply the power at port 4, here it equally divided into port 1 and port 2 with the same pace, but there is no power just reached at the port 3. Similarly, if you apply the power at port 3, if a wave is fed into port 3, that is the E arm, it will produce an output of equal magnitude and opposite phase, equivalent and opposite phase as port 1 and port 2. The output at port 4 is 0. That means S43 equal to S34 equal to 0. Here the 34, here is the 43. 43 means the input at port 3, output at port 4. This is the 0. From this characteristics you can write this term S43 is equal to S34 equal to 0. If a wave is fed into one of the collinear arms at port 1 or port 2, it will be not appear in the other collinear arms at port 2. Either if you just fed into port 1, that it will not reach at the port 2. Here the output is essentially here port 3 and 4. Because the E arm caused the phase delay, E arm the phase delay 180 degree and H arm the phase advance 180 degree. Combined together is give the 0. So S12 equal to S21 equal to 0. Up these 4 0. So in the S matrix you can put these 4 0. S11, S12, S21, S22, S3 S34, S43, S44. This is portion is 0. S11 and S22, S33, S44 is 0. That means the is perfectly matched. S matrix derivation. Now go for the S matrix derivation. 4 matrix. They simply write like this. For the symmetric property, this S14 is equal to S41, S24 equal to S42, but S31 equal to S13, but is equal to S31 is equal to S23. Here you see port 3 to 1. Here is 2 3. 3 to 1. Equal to here the 3 to 1, 3 1 is equal to 3 2. This there is minus this portion equal to E plenty. Property of the E plenty apply here, and this make it negative. And S43 equal to S34 equal to 0. S12 and S21 is also 0 match. Put this value here. Magic T matched at the port 3 and port 4. Using the unitary property. This is the complex conjugate of all of term and equal to 1. And S12 equal to S21. Put there. Multiplying the first row of S, first row of the S and first column of the S complex conjugate, we get multiply S square S1 to this, you will find this term 8. Similarly, row 2 of matrix S to the column 2, simply multiply it na, make it here is a 1 here, so put there, you will get this. Similarly, row 3 and column 3, simply just multiply it, multiplication here, row 1 column 1, row 2 column 2, simply just put there, you will get like this. And S14 and put this value here, you will get this, and S14 equal to 1 by root 2. Here put all this value, you will get S11 equal to S22. Putting value negation 8, you will get this term. Similarly, you go down and put all this value, you will also find these terms, and all the terms we need to find out, just put there. This is the required S parameters or S matrix of magic T. The scattering matrix of an ideal hybrid T may be stated in the following forms. These forms. 1 by root 2, take it common. This is here. Hence, in any four port junction, if any two ports are perfectly matched, then to the junction, then the remaining two ports are automatically matched. Here we suppose 1 or 2 perfectly matched, 3 and 4 automatically is become the matched. Such a junction where all the four ports are perfectly matched to the junction is called a magic tee. Here the matched properly. Application as an isolator, as a magic tee, matching device, as a phase shifter, which is also used in a circulator too. Let's see. This is the complete part of the question 2a. Now move to the questions 2b. 1a, 1b, 2a, 2b. Okay. Now move to the 2c. An air-filled rectangular waveguide R1 is operating at the frequency 2 GHz and another air-filled rectangular waveguide R2 is operating at 4 GHz. The guide wavelength of these waveguides at the respective frequency are equal. If the cutoff frequency of the waveguide R1 is 1 GHz, what is the cutoff frequency of the waveguide R2 in GHz? Given that waveguide R1, waveguide R2, like this, and lambda 1 is lambda 2. You can simply write down lambda 0 naught. You can find out 0.15 meter. Then FCR1, you can simply write down FCR1. Here is 110 to power 9 years. Here you find the F. Here the cutoff frequency is given there, 1 GHz. R1 is given there, but here the cutoff frequency is not given. You need to find out the cutoff frequency of waveguide R2. This is the lambda 2. Or here also mentioned the guide wavelength of these waveguide respective frequency are equal. Respective frequency is equal. Now we know that the guided wavelength is equal to free space wavelength. That is the here the one mentioned the lambda 1 and fc1 upon the frequency what is given there. So it is clearly mentioned the guided wavelength at the respective frequency is equal. Here the respective frequency at that frequency, guided wavelength is lambda g1, lambda g2 at this frequency, make it 1 or 2 equals, what is this value here, comparing it, find it out and comparing, go down after solving and putting all this value here, solving, you will simply get the FCR2 is under root 13 GHz. This is the process how to take these questions. Here only mentions F1, F2 and Fc, the cutoff frequency of R1. You need to find out the cutoff frequency of R2. And one thing is also mentioned there, the guided wavelength at their respective frequency is equal. That means lambda g1 is equal to lambda g2. Lambda g1, lambda g simply is equal to lambda naught upon under root 1 minus fc upon f whole square. Or in term of the lambda, lambda upon lambda c whole square. So you can keep in mind only one formula. If you just simply you can convert in another. Do not just go for the another formula. One formula is enough here. By simply applying this process, you can cope up with this type of questions. The cutoff frequency of R2 waveguide is under root 13 GHz. Now the questions here. Explain the construction, working and application of microwave circulator using magic tee. This is the figure using the two magic tee. Here a one phase shifter is also applied. Now see, a 4-port circulator may be constructed from two magic tee or hybrid junction and a phase shifter as shown in the figure. First, consider a wave incident in a port 1. Let's see. Port 1 is here, port 2 is here, port 3 is here, port 4 is here. Clearly you can see this. one a power incident at port 1. Let's see what happened. Here port 1, it's split into two parts, B and D. Port 1 is split into two parts, B and D. Or here there is a no phase shift. Simply it's read through the A and C because the phase shift is in this direction. So there is no changes. The splitted part, split in equal part, reach to the A and C and combine together. This is the same phase to combine together. Here give the additive part, here there is the subtractive. Here get the 0, here you receive the whole part. So whatever power is applying at port 1, simply it reaches to the port 2. Now move to the port 2. Whatever is power is applying at port 2 is split into two parts with the same phase, A and C. C here is going and reach to the D, and A coming this side, but here the 180 phase shift, it changes phase by 180 degree. Now reach at the B, but the B and D, the magnitude of power is same, but the phase is different. So it skipped the all the parts at 3. This is the property of ER, na? So it gives the all the property at all the power at port 3, but there is no power at port 1. So whatever power is applying at port 2, simply it is split into two parts with the same phase, A and C. It reaches to the A and C, and from C it reaches to the D point. From A with 180 phase shift, reach at the B with the 180 phase shift. So at B and D, the power at B and D is same, but there is a phase shift. And E at the subtractive part and as at the additive part. Here additive part you will get the 0 because one is 180 phase shift. Simply you can add the, you will receive the 0 power at port 1, but you will receive the full power at port 3. Now applying the power at port 4. Port 3. Now let apply the power at port 3. It is split into two parts, B and D with equal phase, with equal magnitude with opposite phase, and is go down, reach at the A and C. Here the A and C both have the opposite phase. Simply you add it 0, here subtract, you will receive the whole power. So simply applying the power at port 3, it reach to the port 4. When you applying power at port 4, what happens applying the power at port 4? It reach to the port 1. Simply divided into two parts, one in the phase shift with the here same phase, additive, receive the power at port 1. This is the whole working of the circulator. You can write the answer in such a way. Here is mentioned there. You just go this. Simply whenever the circulator is there, it's easy to write the answers in the form of using the magic T. Now move to the questions 3A. Here there are the portions. Use Maxwell equations to show that TEM mode cannot exist in hollow waveguide, and also draw field pattern of TE10, TE11, TE21, TM11 and TM21 mode in rectangular waveguide. When you have solved this TEM mode, that means transverse electric and magnetic. Transverse electric magnetic, let's suppose wave is propagating in Z directions, then Ez and Hz both be 0. Here the general relationship for the field component within a waveguide are Ex upon H square del Ez upon del X. This one is portions, here Ey. There is no need to remember these terms. Simply you just here X is there, here X, Y, Z, here Y. First differentiate with respect to Y, here X. This part is common here. See that this part is very common here. Here E portion is there, so here is E. Here E, so E is there, but differentiate with respect to Y. Here negative, positive, positive meter, alternate sign, negative, positive, positive meter. This go H, here is H, here is X, here is X. Then you can just simply, you need to change this piece only. Here is mu, here is epsilon. Let's see, in all the four, Ex, Ey, Hx, Hy, Ez and Hz is also there. Here Ez and Hz 0. Put these terms, whole Ex, Ey, Hx, Hy, Ez and Hz will be 0. So put this value of Ez and Hz in equation all 3, 4. Ex 0, Ey 0, Hx 0 and Hy 0. This shows that all the field component along x and y directions vanish, and hence a TM wave cannot exist inside a waveguide. This is the term. You can write the answers like this. Now let's see TE10. Simply tell you how to write them. Here the solid line represents the E field and dotted line H, and H is perpendicular to E. Most of the time, if there is a complex term is there, no need to write the H, as is in a dotted form. But in the competition exam, it advocate to write the dotted form also, this H also. You are free to also put the H here. Here see that TE10. TE10. Just recall what is the meaning of TEMN. What is the meaning of TEMN? M is the sinusoidal, half sinusoidal variation in the x direction. That means the broader dimension. Here is the variation 1 in a x part portions. But I'm seeing just you can see here here this is the x portions. Here is the y variation. But this variation is y side. But why it look like this? So simply you can correlate with this. If number of vehicle just going in the one lane path, there is no overtaking. If one person is standing behind the last car, means last vehicle, and see the first car, it's very difficult because one car, the one is behind the another, so you are unable to view the first one. So what is the best thing? So if you come in the side in the side portions, if you come in the side portions, that means in the B sides. If you are standing in the long side, you come in the narrow sides, you can see the all the cars. Simply you can find out if one car is moving from the Pari Chowks to the botanical garden, the direction in the botanical garden, but one person is standing in the NRI side, in the Ansar Plaza side. If one person is a Ansar Plaza side, they can view all the car which are running in the line. So find the values to see the variations. Simply if T10 is there, 1 represent the x side, here variation is x, simply you put in the y directions to view the difference. This is the side portion view, side view. This is also known as the side view. In a TE1, only one side there is variations. TE20, that means the variation, one portion is going, the 3 line is going up, 3 line go to the down. That means the equal part is distribution there. And dotted shows the H magnetic field. Here you can see that it is going this magnetic field like this. Here is it down, that is this side. Simply you can represent like this. Now TM11, TM21, then you can view TM11. This is the variations, circle like this. Here is 2 portion is there, are completely variations. Here see, this is the equal variation here. What is the TEM and here? M is the x side variation, y is the in a circular. It is a circular, no? No, it is not circular. It's a rectangular. Only the TM. This is the portions. TM2. This is the 2. Here 2 is mentioned there. 1 is there. 1 is this side. 1 up, 1 down. So by using these terms, you can easily find out and check what is the mistakes there, what is the mistakes in your copy. Do not write the wrong answers in your copy. Let's check and find it properly and write the answers. Let now move to the last questions. Most of the students did the mistake there. Only 2 or 3 students have solved it, but they also did a silly mistakes there. Here port 1, as I just dictated in the class, you just arrange this in this form. Port C is going there. The directions, check how to check the direction. Both the direction here is same, here direction is different. Let's check where the direction is different. Here the direction is different. That means one of the port must be incident port. One of the port must be incident port. But which one is incident port? Check the directions of the arrow. Here the direction of arrow is matched with this. So this port is incident port. Arrange with this. This is the port C and port B here is in this direction. This is isolated port. This is the incident port. And this is the throw port, output port. This is the coupled port. This only give to you to make it surprise. Most of the students unable to solve these questions. You can find this question also in an exam. So beware about this. Those who have a concept very clear, they can easily solve these questions. There is nothing, only this portions there are, everything is very simple. Now move. What is incident port is there? Throw port, coupled port, isolated port. Do not just just write the formula in terms of P1, P2, P3, P4. You will be in trouble when you write in terms of P1, P2, P3, P4. The correct form is write in the term of the incident power, throw power, coupled power and isolated power. If in most of the exam it changes, in the competition exam they only write the incident port, then how can you find out? Simple the way. You only the directions, only way using the direction you can find out. The PC, change it in the form of dBm. When you convert in dBm in the form of like the anti-log divided by 10 also, this will give it come in the answer in the milliwatt. Simply come in the answer in the milliwatt. Here you changes coupling factors. 10 log this portions 316, that means the PC, that means the incident port upon PA, that means the isolated port. Incident port upon isolated port. Isolated port power is a PB here. Here you can write this is a 2 dBm PA coupled port. Incident port upon the coupled port. This is the coupling factor here. Coupling factor is 22.999 dB. It is 10 to power minus 3 here, 10 to power minus 3. It is simply cut down here, cancelled out. C is this and D is the directivity 1.58. Simply you can find out 1.5, that means the PA. PA is the coupled port upon isolated port. Activity is coupled power at the coupled port upon the isolated port. This is the portions. And D is given here. This and I is this. Insertion, the portions isolation. This is portion 10 log this portion PA upon this PC upon PB. Simply you can find out. This is the insertion loss. Incident port upon throw port. Easily you can find out the answers. Okay, now let's see the chat window. This is the portion, so you can find out all these terms and do not do the mistakes when you're solving the questions. These are the important questions also. You can find these questions in the most of the exam 2018, 19, 17, 18, all these terms.